What is going on, true believers? The world is coming to an end. Bitcoin isn't pumping, and there's a lot of on-chain data and metrics to tell me that we're in trouble, that the crypto market is Bitcoin's probably going to zero. This is probably the end of it. So I don't know what you guys were doing. There's make applications in the link in the description below, just in case you want to get a McJob or anything like that, because I'm just kidding. It's getting wild out here. But the fear and greed index is low. On-chain activity is declining to levels that we haven't seen since a month ago. So there's a much ado about nothing. But when you look at the overall 3-month fear and greed index, and you start to get an idea that there's a pressing sort of downward trend on cryptocurrency. So we're going to break all that down and more. We're going to get into it. Also, is the SEC coming for cryptocurrency in September before this fiscal year resets? The answer is yeah, probably. It looks like the SEC could be set to come after everybody, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's going to happen probably in the next 14 to 21 days. So we're going to break that down. And remember, this is not financial advice, but I'm Believes 182.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I bought some Bitcoin because I see the light. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Please, I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Please, I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I built a crypto channel streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go live and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these motherfuckers and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Please, I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Please, I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you.
Guys, TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming, PvP, poker, sports wagering, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Crypto trading, you can do it there too. You can play blackjack, any type of table game. Additionally, there's plenty of slot machines for you to choose from, and there is a robust group of people out here doing a lot of risk-based gaming. Guys, this is an opportunity for you to earn a little bit of crypto. Prove that you belong in the casinos at TerraCasino.io. All right, so we're going to kick it off a little bit differently today. We're going to go down through the news. I had this idea that I wanted to go through with you guys so that you guys, I wanted to cover more news. I wanted to get more of a general feel of what's going on in the market. So we're going to start off with the fear and greed index. It's at 29 right now. What we're looking for is a move at least into neutral or into greed. Like that's what we've been waiting for. And the pressure of this market has been weighing down. So this is what the fear and greed indexes look like over the last month or so. When we look at it from all the way up here back in June, when we were in that euphoric phase, we came down a little bit. Then we got a retest fear and greed down here in the 25 range. Then it spiked back up through most of July. We started feeling really good again. Euphoria kicked in, and then boom, we crashed all the way down to 17. Crazy crash, right? Then it spikes back up just recently up here into the 56 range, and then it comes all the way back down. Now, a couple of days ago, back into this range, I was telling you guys, like really what we need to do is we need to harness the power, if you will, of this fear and greed index, where when it comes down into this range, we wait until it comes up to this range, and that's when we sell. We buy down here, we sell up here, then we should be making profit. And really, that's focused more on Bitcoin than other cryptos, but it applies almost to every crypto, especially those in the public lexicon, something like real-world assets, which seem to be taking off right now and seem to be working in unison with the market. You know, everything that's hot right now, that's what we want to trade. Even meme coins in some context, that's what we want to do. So what do we get? Well, we got the spike up here into the 50s, and now it's cooled off again, kind of dramatically. So, and by the way, when you look at this index over the course of a few days here, then you see it's really been just kind of fear. We haven't gotten into extreme fear yet, but I sense and suspect that we're probably going to see that because there's no primary motivator right now in this market that's keeping people excited about it. The ETFs have been not holding up very well. If you come to the ETFs and you look at the flows on them, then you see that yesterday we had another outflow, 37 million. Not bad when it comes to the total outflow portion of it. And most of it's still down, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row now of outflows. Some of these big outflows, 175 million, 287 million. So there's a nervous sentiment in the market. When you look at the ETH ETF, you're going to see a little bit of the same thing here. We had an outflow. Remember, we had this enormous outflow 2 days ago, and we had it again yesterday on the Ethereum ETFs, down 47 million on the 3rd, and then 37 million on the 4th. We're not seeing that spike of reversal that we were really looking to see. So now we've got people nervous in the market, and that generally means that a downward move is coming, or is this the result of the downward move? That's what we really need to see. I haven't looked at correlation right now of Bitcoin price to the ETF price, but I'm assuming somebody's working on that, and we should be able to look at it pretty soon. As a matter of fact, I'll make that kind of a thing for me today to try to figure out whether or not that is the case. So, Fear and Greed Index at 29. Let's talk about a little bit of news here before we get going too far. First of all, is the SEC planning more crypto crackdowns in September? A legal officer has warned that this could be happening. Jake Chervinsky, the chief legal officer of Variant Fund, hinted at the possibility of the market recording increased SEC enforcement actions towards the end of September. Now, why is that the case, right? Well, here it is right here. Chervinsky noted that the market might witness an increase in enforcement actions this month. He pointed to the fact that most regulatory bodies like the SEC and the CFTC will end the fiscal year on September 30th. So the effect of this can be seen as teams beginning to increase enforcement action to bolster performance reports ahead of future budgetary requests. So they're trying to bully you for the purpose of getting their budget increased. Reminder that the SEC, CFTC, and other regulators have their fiscal year end on September 30th. It's typical in September to see a flurry of enforcement action as they shore up their performance reports and budget requests for Congress. It could be a busy month. Now, we haven't seen it play out yet, but we're waiting to see, do we get some kind of weird sort of enforcement action? Now, the other thing to this is they're going to do business as usual, in my opinion, but they could be looking at this and saying, look, no matter what, Joe Biden is not going to be the president. So they're going to look over and they're going to say, Kamala, what do you want? They're going to reach out maybe to Donald Trump and say, hey, what do you want if you become the president? We have business as usual, but we don't want to waste our time or waste our effort on something that you're just going to repeal or change, or what is it that we're looking at this point? Remember, the job of the SEC is to enforce the existing law. So if those change, then they would be kind of, I guess, ass out. So CFTC slapped a $175,000 settlement fine on a decentralized crypto exchange, Uniswap, for illegal digit assets derivatives trading. And by the way, you guys know that derivatives trading, dangerous, risky, requires liquidity, requires lenders, requires a lot, and that makes it a security. That's what I keep trying to tell you guys in many of these different contexts, by the bundling of these assets becoming security. So derivatives trading and staking, those kind of things are considered securities by the SEC. So Uniswap adds derivatives trading, but you can't get that in the United States, by the way. It's very, very rare. You have to have it on a regulated and licensed place. Unfortunately, that's the way that it works here. So we might see more action in that regard, and it might become really refined. So we see the enforcement action is going to be against whatever exchange or group or whatever it is, but it's really just them coming after staking, or them coming after people who are doing the derivatives trading, which does, by the way, require staking. So it's just possibly par for the course. So if that happens, that's what I would expect to see. Now, let's move on to Ripple, because we've got some XRP information, and it's not good. Ripple has asked for a stay on the $125 million SEC payout, which signals a potential appeal. So, according to the filing that was done yesterday, Ripple's legal team stated that the SEC agreed to delay the payment beyond September 6th. Under the agreement, Ripple proposed depositing 111% of the judgment. So it's not about the money. They're not worried about the money. They're putting the money, which means they already have it, by the way. So they're not going to be selling on the chart. So into a bank account. This sum will remain there until 30 days after the appeal period expires or until the resolution of any appeal. The filing also noted that post-judgment interest would accrue in favor of the SEC during this time. Ripple will maintain beneficial ownership of the funds without control, including any interest accumulating from the deposit. The legal team emphasized that this agreement protects both parties' interests. It ensures the SEC will have access to the fund if necessary, while allowing Ripple to avoid the cost and inconvenience of posting a bond for the full judgment amount. Now, why is that happening? Some experts believe this filing signals an appeal from the SEC. Pro-XRP lawyer Fred Rispoli commented about the odds of an appeal have increased given the case's complexity. He stated this is not a guarantee that there will be an appeal, but putting that kind of money in a trust is not something that is done unless SEC is being evasive to Ripple lawyers as to whether it intends on appealing. Again, still possible that no appeal happens, but odds have increased. Rispoli reassured the XRP community that potential SEC appeal wouldn't significantly affect the token. So if the SEC appeals, then it's because they're greedy. They want more money, despite the fact that they said that, we did a good job. We got what we wanted. We got them penalized, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're going back and they're looking at it. And what were they doing? What was the SEC doing? Lying to the American people when they said that they were happy with it. Now, if that is the case, if not, then they were happy with it overall. And this is just Ripple trying to hedge because they're not getting clarity from the SEC. And look, Gary Gensler could be on the attack. He is the, when you're a personal geek for Elizabeth Warren, weird things happen. Be careful, John Deaton. Be careful. Anyway, so let's move on here to the next big thing, and that is, so this is what I want to talk about for today. We're going to go down and we're just going to kind of break through things that are going on in the news. For those of you that don't know, I use CryptoPanic to get my news. CryptoPanic is a news aggregator. It uses multiple different sites, and it gives me kind of an insight into a lot of different things. And look, I'm a headline junkie, so a lot of this stuff is just continuing to pop out. And by the way, it is sponsored by Stake if you were interested. So 105 million crypto saved. DeFi protocol Pendle prevents further losses from the PenPy exploit. So if you guys remember that, they said there was an article that came out that said that they caught it in time and they saved $105 million of potential loss. So cool, but now Vitalik Buterin moves 1.3 million STRK, moved 800 Ether worth over 2.1 million to a multi-sig wallet. And then on September 4th, Buterin also unlocked and withdrew 1.268 million STRKnet, valued at 470,000 from the locked token grant contract. This brought to light by Wu's blockchain. He posted, Vitalik Buterin currently holds 2.113 million STRK, worth about 781,000, which is his most valuable token besides Ethereum. So that was the one that he decided that he was going to have invested in. By the way, just in case you were wondering here, he has $600 million worth of Ethereum. Damn. And 516,000 in wrapped Ethereum. So and so that means that STRK is his biggest holding there at 854 million. And when you go down here and you start looking at SDOG, he has 250,000 in it. I don't even know if that's really right or not. And then eBull, again, a lot of people do these scam things where they put it over there. They're like, Vitalik is an investor, and he's not really. But so that's what's happening with Vitalik Buterin. So will that cause a run on Ethereum price? We don't know the answer to that, but we'll be looking at. Robinhood has reached a court settlement with the California authorities. Now, what was the purpose behind it? Robinhood Crypto Division has wrapped up an investigation into its past practices, agreeing to pay a $3.9 million fine following allegations that it did not allow customers to withdraw cryptocurrency from 2018 to 2022. So that's a pretty good thing. The market worked for you for once. So if you were scammed by Robinhood, then they're paying a fine, and you should be able to get access to that money, by the way, in some kind of settlement or something like that. Now, there's other things here that some whales are buying ETC, whales are buying ASTR. Those, to me, feel like scam things, so I don't really put too much into it. But Bitcoin liquid staking comes to Zest protocol. There are still 4 months remaining before the yearly Bitcoin candle closes. The current candle close should be near the red horizontal line acting as a ceiling. Bad idea AI, the high risk, high reward intersection of AI and DeFi. Remember, bad idea was part of the Shiba Inu ecosystem. So that's coming back into the news. Shocking 30% spike. This is where it starts getting important right here. 30% spike in a report from macro researcher Adam from Greeks Live. Cryptocurrency markets continue to see bleeding in crypto put options transaction surged. So according to Adam, the market's nonstop decline doesn't seem to stop and investors are losing their confidence. Today, the number of crypto put options went up, with such trades making nearly 30% of the total options market, he added to the X platform. In particular, the crypto put option transaction reached 280 million, while ETH block put transactions reached 90 million. Such an evident growth of put options means the rising bearish feeling among traders. Now, what does that usually mean? That usually means there's a liquidity sweep coming in another direction because market makers are trying to wreck the people. And what that means when you get that spike is not the big market makers that are doing it. It's everybody else finally saying, oh shit, it's going down and it's going to continue going down. And that's exactly the hook that you needed in order to get you into that market, into that range, so that the market makers can then pump it out and wreck your short positions. Okay, so large put transactions shake the market. What are we looking at, and what does that look like? Well, come over here and look at your liquidation map, and you can see here, I'm not sure exactly where Bitcoin is. I see a green candle for this hour. So 56,924 right now, but that 56,000 right there is shining like a beacon. But here's the thing: when you start to zoom out, what you should be seeing is the upper area here, which there it is right there. You're starting to see it light up. What you're seeing is a bunch of people coming into short positions, and look at this little nugget right there, 56,679. There is a big pool of liquidity right there. Most likely, looking at this, the sweep would probably be to the downside into this range and then a spike up here to grab it. But let's move out just a little bit more, because 280 is a lot, and there it is right there. So now we get a clear consensus here. This is where all the money is. There's a lot of shorting going on in the market. People are not longing at this point. Now look, we got to be honest here. When the market does this, that is usually a sign of a market reversal to the good side for you. Okay, that means price go up. And the reason that I'm saying that is because market makers are looking to shake you from a position. They're looking to get you to do what they want you to do. This is manipulation. Okay, so now just to kind of zoom out here and give you just an idea. Okay, market makers started shorting this market up here. Okay, the first to the dance started shorting over here. They continue to take profit each time as it manipulates and as it moves in those directions, right? That's exactly what they do. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to say the same thing. Now, do you think that a market maker is trying to get you rich? There's no circumstance in which they're trying to get you rich. They're buying up here. They're shorting their positions up here, I should say. And they're waiting for this, and then they're waiting for this, and then they're waiting for this. And these are their take profit moves, right? So, and then they will sell off on spot just to kind of dip the market, just to convince you that, yeah, it's going down. So then what do you do? Well, then, because they're up here, kings of the castle doing it up here, doing it up here, doing it up here. You're not recognizing the moves, and then you come in and you see this move come down, and you're like, well, when it spikes up again right here, now I'm going to start entering into my positions, right? And on shorter time frames, you'll see that play out as well. So what you're watching right now is the move is to get you to short so that your liquidity is kind of like right in this range. And that range, if you will, right here is up to 65,000. So let's go see what it looks like all the way up to 65,000, because you can see here through 60,000, there's a ton of money just kind of sitting there. Let's look at 65,000. Going up through 65, 66,000, there's hundreds of millions as you move down this little range here. Let me put it in model 2 on the 1 month, because then you get a kind of a better idea of what it looks like. There's a little bit still down here, but you're seeing this start to build up. For example, September 4 on the 1 month chart, 700 million sitting at 59.9, 600 million sitting at 60,001. And as you slowly kind of make your way up there, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions, right? So then we go to 3 month and you look at it from the longer term, then guess what? Now you start to see huge amounts sitting up here. These are low leverage positions with tons of capital in the billions, ranging up here at around 70,000. So what they've done is they successfully convinced you that the market is going down. They've gotten you into the short position. They're not going to pay you. They will not pay you. They will reverse this market and send it soaring to wreck you before coming down again to trick you one more time. So the question for you, or the question that has to be asked of you at this point is, was this the dump? Was this the move over here that sets off the market? Doesn't feel like it. So is this the one that's going to send the market soaring? Doesn't feel like it as well. And by the way, when I give you this, I'm giving you alpha on a long-term basis, not on a short-term basis. So what is that next move? What is that next step? Well, it looks like in the market was down quite a bit for the day. U.S. market appears to be in something of a buy mode so far, feeling kind of positive, I think. What are we getting here? We're getting the ISM services on today. Let's zoom a little bit here and see what else we're getting tomorrow. We're getting the unemployment rate. We'll see, we're going to get different details and different data that's going to help us to make a decision on what that next move is. And remember, we've got, let me go to this one over here, and this line right here, this is where we probably get the rate cut. So if I'm a betting man, and if you're doing futures trading, you kind of are, then I would suspect that we're probably going to see at least this right here to around 63,000. And then that's when we're going to see that dump, and we're going to get that one that makes you go, oh shit. Like, that's what I think is going to happen. Look, guys, I'm guessing. We're all guessing when we see that, but we're looking at trends. We're looking at the way this thing is kind of lining up. And, we have to be honest about what we're seeing. We're seeing this right here. Look, we're looking at these bottoms over here, and they're coming lower and lower and lower. And then we're looking at these tops up here, and they are also coming lower and lower and lower. And the question is, that we're in that heart line. If we were to pick the middle of this, if you look at this, we're kind of in the middle right there. And look at this, we're on the top of that middle kind of heart line range. So maybe we get a bounce here. We maybe get a move up here. Will not last, but we are due for a 68,000 move at some point pretty soon. Like, I really do think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're continuing to do that. So could see it, but long term, I think there's at least one more correction, one more shakeout right here, coming down into 44,000 at least, maybe even more, and then a big time reversal if the market allows it. Look, there's a lot of people that I know, and look, I know some pros. All right, a lot of buy orders are set right now at around 54.5. Okay. There's a lot of buy orders kind of in that range right now. So there are some people who are convinced, and they believe that there will be a big move, and that capitulation candle, if you will come down a little bit more, but it will be picked up before we really get to the bottom of this little range right here with this little spot right here. That's going to be probably the end of a dump, and then we're going to see upward momentum. That's what they're kind of guessing at this point. Okay. But like everybody else, they're just guessing. So we'll see how this plays out. But again, like I think that this market looks like it's kind of looks 1 hour candle. Let's go look at that. And this is the total market cap, by the way. You can see that after just a few, quite a few hours of downward pressure continuing. I don't know why I'm just doing this instead of just zooming. Anyway, we've gotten a lot of candles that look like a reversal is imminent, right? We got a doji candle played out right here perfectly, which caused a spike in price coming up for a few hours. When you get those doji candles like this one right here, it's coming. That one looks like a bearish doji candle, and guess what? Price comes down. Well, now we're looking at one that the settlement is up here near the top of the range, which means the price go up. So I think over the next few hours, we're probably going to be looking at price go up, and maybe we'll test this 2 trillion market cap one more time. Don't know for sure. You never know, because when you see them, you never know how they're, how this ends up going, right? You see this little doji candle right here, down towards the bottom. And of course we go to the bottom, down towards the bottom. Of course we go to the bottom. So when you see them and they look like that, generally, that generally gives you an idea of kind of downward momentum, but it didn't play out right here. So, you don't know what's getting ready to happen. Now, you could say this, it didn't happen right here, but it did happen a couple hours later. You know what I mean? So let's see if this plays out, because this looks like a lot of buy pressure coming into this range. So let's just see if it plays out positively or negative. Dow Jones about even on the day. So let's get back into it. So now we got the spike in the put options, but let's come down here just a little bit more. Unusual buying activity on Bitcoin has been identified about 41 minutes ago. Bybit reveals Solana-based liquid staking total, BBSOL, machine learning algorithms at SHIB price. CoinDesk, and by the way, this is Coin Codex usually, just wild shit over there. Injective introduces first on-chain index tracking BlackRock build fund supply, which is very, very interesting. Here's one that's really, really interesting, okay? Bitcoin network in trouble. Activity drops to the lowest point since 2021. The number of active addresses on the Bitcoin network has fallen to levels not seen in 3 years, coinciding with price of around 45,000. So what I just tell you a little while ago, that the most likely scenario for the Bitcoin drop, the Bitcoin price move, was down into the range of 44,000, and it wasn't. Let's do the daily chart here to get that right there, and you can see here, this is where this line is going, right here into 44,000. So it is, all of the pieces are in place right now to say that the most likely scenario here is that they are trying to wreck your long positions, but they are using that as capital to strap a rocket to the butt of crypto and send it soaring. So that's what it looks like right now. The activity is way down. Trade volume is way down. Centralized exchanges are where most of it's coming in, but the crypto on the exchanges is still continuing to dwindle just a little bit. Now we're getting a spike, by the way, into the red on the, let's look at the 30-minute, and you can see here. So we had that nice little kind of rebound here that we've tried a couple of times. We're getting a little resistance in this range right here. It's going to have to break out. If it breaks out, then expect 2 trillion to be tested in just a little while. Bitcoin would look kind of the same, which means that Bitcoin would be up in about 58,000 right here into this 58,003 or 4 range, because that seems to be where the trade volume is preferred. So, but trade activity down. When that's down, it really symbolizes that there is a problem. Now let's go look and let's see, is this just a problem here, or is it broadly? Well, this is Ethereum, and this is the volume on Ethereum. Okay. The things I've been looking at lately, and look at the volume on Ethereum. So, and you can see it over here. I'm going to zoom here just a little bit to kind of give you, an idea here. But you can see here at the top over here, total value locked on Ethereum was 105 billion, and the volume was $4 billion a day. This was during the height of the last bull run. Then we had this downward momentum where the total value locked at one point hit lows of 20 billion. and then the volume was 840 million. Well, this is recently, as recently as right here, June 1st, which is the top, 66.6 billion total value locked, and then the volume was $1 billion. However, if you keep coming over here, you will notice that there are days with gigantic spikes in volume. So volume still hovers between $1 and $2 billion per day, which means that Ethereum is still having the volume is not suffering. What's suffering is total value locked, and that usually is a signifier of potential downward momentum or something like that. So let's take that into consideration. And now let's go back to where we were right here at this time previously, right? So here's 2024, and this is September, October, this is August and September right now. Now, if we come over here and we look at August and September right here on this chart, and I'm not going to be able to zoom in because it doesn't really work that way, but as you can see, if you're looking right here, there was a downward spike in the volume here before another surge. There was a little downward, a mini spike, by the way, to the downside. What are we experiencing right now? Well, there's your mini spike right there. There's your downside. So it looks like up is what we're going to end up doing, okay? Because this correlates and this matches. You just see it better because there's more volume over here. But right there, you can really just kind of make out that you had that big surge right there at the end of August, and then you had that big broad sell-off through September, but then all of a sudden, towards the end of September, you can see it here. It goes back up over that top. Now, if it goes back up over that top, then what are we looking at? Well, then we're looking at this kind of range kicking in. And if that is the case, then let's go look at what does that mean. 66 billion in total value locked. Now, what does it look like on all of them? 45 billion in total value locked. So you're looking at about an increase of about $20 billion just to start the surge coming back up. So we're going to be looking at that, and that should be a good indicator on which direction the market's going to go. We should probably remember 45.1 billion is the TVL today. So, and by the way, there's a bunch of other ones over here. And then here is the change for the 24 hours. It's up slightly. Stablecoin market cap is 82 billion. Made 2 million in fees yesterday on Ethereum. So a lot of different stuff. But what's happening on Solana? What does Solana look like? Total value locked is 4.7 billion. Let's go look at the volume. Look at the volume on Solana, and look, you can't be mad here. The total value locked was way down. Of course, this was the end right here when we had the FTX collapse and everything like that. That's when everything went just absolutely to shit. But look at this. It just continues to build. It just really continues to build. And even into July, despite the fact that March was the top of that, kind of meme coin cycle, look at this over here. So we're looking right now and we're seeing it, that the top was over here in August. Then we had a big dip in total value lock in one little short period at the beginning of August. And then we got a surge on it again. What happened over there? Well, let's go look at Tron, because Tron has a TVL. And look at this, up through July, there's where the spike was at the same time that Solana was going down. That's when the money was being moved over to Tron so that people were trading on Tron. Arbitrum, same thing. When you kind of break this down, look at Arbitrum continues to have positive moves. Let's look at the volume. It's continued spikes and surges in activity. I mean, this is generally an uptrend overall. So don't get shaken out of this market. The uptrend, all the data that you're looking for tells you that we are in still an uptrend. So it's a matter right now of seeing which way this market is going to take the liquidity pool and what are they going to attack. Now in the 3-month, you can see again, it's 75,000. That's where all the big money is. There you can see it's millions and billions of dollars that are sitting up there. Do we have the muscle to get into that range? I don't think so right now. Sentiment is not great, but here's the thing. That's just human emotion. And I think that all it takes is a nice little flip in this market, and you will start to see just a really big spike. The market makers are trying to shake you. That's all. The market makers are trying to shake you. They want you to do what they want you to do so that then they can do what they need to do in order to take your money from you, right? And so on a 30-minute, by the way, if you're looking at Bitcoin on the 30-minute, you got to be thinking that this might be a good opportunity for a nice little spike. Now, that spike might be limited, by the way. Let's at least call this out and say, we've got this descending line right here. So in the event that we spike up here, then 57.7 might be the spot, which corresponds right here with this little volume node. So, you might be looking at maybe 57.7 and a little bit of a move back up here, and then a little sell off. If we can get above it, then maybe you break out and you start to test the top of that range one more time. That would look pretty good. And but we have to see how the market plays out. For meme coins, Saitama on Solana is up still about 45%, but it's about to go down. I think on this percentage, it's been 24 hours since the launch. So this launch was over here 24 hours ago. Then it had kind of a move sideways, and then it had another leg up. Now it's having a move sideways. Does it continue on would be the next question. If it does, what is the end result of it? And it would look like the end result of any kind of move towards that upside would end up at around 1.5 cents, 1.4 cents, something like that over the next few hours, maybe even up to like 2 cents. You never know. That would only be about a 2 million market cap. So, in the event that it spikes and in the event that it moves, then, 2 million market cap looks to be maybe in play, but that would be kind of at the best. And Honda Game says Saitama is trash, bro. You don't like it. You don't like it. That's okay. I don't give a shit about most people's opinions. I care about charts and I care about what it looks like, right? When I see this happen right here, that usually means a new spike is coming. And it doesn't matter whether you think a product is shit or not. Guess what happened? While you were thinking that it was shit, somebody else was making 100% profit. So your opinion, my opinion, none of our opinions really, really matter. What matters is, can we get at the bottom of something and can we make a move out of it? So when you look at this from a structure standpoint, oh man, it's kind of a pain in the ass there. You're right here and you're right at the top of that golden pocket. You know what I mean? You're right at the top of this little golden ratio. So suspect some little downward pressure to come back into this 6.5 to 7.2 range, and then a spike from there. And then if you were to look at it from here, then let's go see. This is, oh, God damn it. You can't do anything about, wait a minute. That's the wrong thing. Haha. Let's try to fix that. All right, let's click that right there. All right, let's do this one. We're going to change this one to a negative so you can see that up on the top. All right, there we go. All right, so in the event that there is an enormous spike, then the best that you can expect to happen, if it plays out perfectly, is a move from where it is right now at 207.73 up to 2.3 cents. That's where it looks like. If it's got positive momentum behind it, then you could be looking at it going to about 2.3 million market cap. And if it does that, that's about a 3x from where you are right now. So you never know what'll happen, but might as well find out. So anyway, let's move on here. Monkey shit, MSI. This right here still has me wondering exactly what it is. Now, I've talked to Pablo. Honda Game, this is a revival of the original Saitama. This is a meme coin on Solana. This is not the original Saitama or Cytochain, if you will. This is not that. This is just a bunch of people who were wrecked by Saitama having a meme coin to have fun with. So, and the liquidity's locked. They have a 2% buy and sell tax on it, so they can fund development of it. And then what they want to do is, the whole idea was to create or recreate exactly what happened leading up to November. Can it go to a 7 billion market cap? No. But if it goes to a 7 million market cap, then you can be like, hey, look what we did. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But we're on monkey shit right now. So MSI, it intrigues me, and I have talked to Pablo, but I didn't ask him about it because, look, it's kind of not my place to ask about it. But he said, after my recent conversation with my developing team and the massive transaction I just did, I have no doubts MSI will change the crypto game forever. Now, here's the thing. The massive transaction I just did. What is the massive transaction? Well, For him to consider it massive, that means it's 250 to 500,000. That's Pablo, just so you guys understand. That's what he would be looking at, okay? If that is the case, then what is the move here? So if you look at MSI, 4 million market cap, 465,000 in volume. Coming down here, Gate.io is the big volume over here with about 300,000 in volume per day. You got MEXC over here with about 15,000 in volume. BingX, 74,000. Poloniex, DigiFinX. So there's a couple different places here that already have it. Now the question is, where can you get a big splash, right? So let's go look at the spot exchanges and who are the top 10 exchanges. And at least consider that it's already on Poloniex, it's already on Bitfinex, already on Gate.io, already on MEXC. I mean, this is the new token already on each one of those exchanges right now. MEXC, of course, I mean, down while the rest of the market is up. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with MEXC. Well, I know what's going on. They're a piece of shit, which is why we're no longer partnered with them. But, you know, if you really come up here, like who costs a ton of money to get listed on? There, right there, and right there. Now, Binance, most probably not going to be the one. You know, I never know. I mean, you never know. But HTX is also a good one right there. Bybit is really good one, but it's derivatives based for the most part. But I mean, another big time listing. And you know what? Coinbase Exchange, the possibility always exists. Now, when I circle all of these, then we have to ask the question, well, which cryptos? Who's got the most cryptos? Well, HTX 721, so that's the most likely place. Bybit is the second most likely place, and then what's the third most likely place? Fucking Binance, motherfucking Binance. So, and then third is going to be Kraken, and then OKX. I don't think there's any shot right here with Coinbase. So any one of these, or any two of these, like I don't know, any one or two of these is going to be an enormous move for MSI. And look, will it get back to its all-time high? And that's the question, all-time high being 20 million. And can it do that? So I think the answer to that is yeah. I mean, you know, it's forming, it's doing its cup and handle. That's exactly what Pablo's been looking for. And he's working the market, he's working the charts to make that happen. And then up here is 508. So we're about 6x away, 7x away? About 6x away from getting back up into that all-time high. So yeah, a 6x from where we are now would be a $25 million market cap. Now, should it go higher? Look, I think is my opinion that Pablo wants to beat Volt. Volt currently has a market cap of 15.4 million. So it's not, and by the way, it's not about getting that 15.4 million. It's about, he wants to beat that all-time market cap. And that all-time market cap is, I think, 250 million, something like that. So I'm not saying at this point that's, I mean, that's, you know, what, 70, 65, about 60x from where it is right now. So I'm not saying it's going up 60x, by the way. That seems a little aggressive to me. But I mean, you never know. You never know when something goes crazy. You've seen the market, guys. I mean, you know, Nero, this ridiculous token Nero. It's a goddamn cat. Like it's not even or it's the new. I'm sorry, it's the new Kabosu. I'm sorry, Nero is the new Kabosu. And look what it's doing right here. So, you know, I mean, you never know what's going to resonate with people. It's at the dip right now of what is this? 4.058. It was up here at 3.014. That's a 3x from where it is. $75 million market cap for something like MSI to do that. What does that look like? That's a 3x from where it is right here. 75. So that's almost a 20x. Imagine almost a 20x on MSI just to get into that range. So I mean, it's potential that any of these, you know, kind of wild things happen. So you never know when you're going to get just one of those, you know, crazy moves. Remember, MAGA, 137 million market cap, but it had almost $1 billion market cap. You never know. By the way, if you're not already buying at this price over here, I told you guys yesterday, when you get into this range right here, this is your buy zone. This thing is going to absolutely explode at some point. as we get closer to this election, there's going to be a moment in time where people are going to be like, oh yeah, shit, we need that one. And boom, you're going to see a big spike. Now, will you see $1 billion spike? I still think that's going to happen. But, I think the FOMO and the buildup for the election, plus October, the end of September, once we have a dip, whatever it is, once we get the basis, the rate cut, once we get the pieces that we need that we put in place, then you might see this market absolutely spike. So, we'll see a cleansing, if you will. So, that will happen before, but generally speaking, this market is getting ready to ascend, and when it does, boom, it's going to be beautiful. And having a little bag of MAGA right now, probably going to serve you very, very well. Just my opinion. Make of what you want. Also, DevvE, here is something. This is important. This is a statement from DevvE. So please check this out. In light of recent announcement from a top 7 cryptocurrency by market cap, it's time for DevvE community to pause and appreciate where our ecosystem stands right now. Our partnership in building the digital finance ecosystem, our metaverse efforts will be entirely self-custodial. We've cracked the code on custody issues in crypto, including privacy, fraud, theft, and loss consideration. For nearly a decade, crypto and enterprise have struggled with custody problems. We've solved it. Our partners are blown away when they see what we can do, not just for, by the way, very few partners. There's a lot more partners that have not been announced yet with DevvE. They are super excited going way back here. So I keep warning you guys. I hope that you're listening to me. DevvE is going to explode. I mean, it's going to explode at some point soon. If we introduced on EVM sidechain, our developer pool would shrink from 25 million to 200,000. We can, but why? That's not the kind of growth that supports enterprise teams with rigid implementation protocol and standard. From a crypto perspective, an EVM sidechain might look like progress, but from an interoperability standpoint, the existing global infrastructure that DevvE seamlessly integrates with, like a thin, lightweight blanket, it's not even close. Smart contracts are already live on mainnet right now, not in exploration phase, bringing the ease of integration we promised and are delivering with a top name enterprise. In terms of composability, which is which has received discussion, we will also stand out. Anyone will be able to spin up a shard and produce an ecosystem solution in a marketplace of ideas that can be leveraged by the entire ecosystem. While the crypto industry often delivers more fizzle than pop, our large-scale enterprise and state-level partners know the real potential pop of blockchain. What did I just say? State-level partners. And you guys don't know who those state-level partners are. And you don't know what their large scale enterprise. This is where it comes into play, guys. You are not paying attention enough to DevvE. And here's what's going to happen. I have a big bag of DevvE. I have about 30,000 tokens, right? And they're currently trading at, I don't want to say like 15, 16 cents, something like that. Yeah, here we go. Trading at about 16 cents, right? Not that long ago, this project was at its launch phase. And at its launch, you know what? I should just come over here. At its launch phase, it was up at like $4, something like that, or $2.50. It was taking off, right? But that was the original launch kind of excitement. And remember, this happened right here, February, March. And then boom, the market capitulates, right? So this comes out, and then what happens? What happens at this point is all of the people who were previous holders for the vesting process. Here's what happens: the money just keeps continuing to trickle out. Like I have, I don't know how many I have available, but I've got a significant amount of tokens available for that I can like draw on from the vesting process. But that vesting process ends over here where this big blue line is. That's when you will see what I think is going to be a reduction, an enormous reduction in sell pressure. And I don't know if it continues down this channel, but I have no reason to suspect that it won't. But at some point this breaks, and then boom, that's when you start to see something form, and then boom, you get this 64 cent. And that basically at that point becomes your cup and handle formation. Again, we were just talking about that with Pablo, but this becomes your cup and handle formation right there at 64 cents. And then bang, that's where we get back up into that $2.25 sort of range. This is just the open market weighing down. Again, we're down $37 billion on the day. It was, looked like we were reversing just a little while ago. Market makers will have none of that. They hate you. They despise you. They think you're disgusting, and they want to steal your money. And I'm saying that, look, I am not telling you anything that you don't already know deep down in your heart. Okay. Market cap on DevvE right now is $6 million. The market cap at that all-time high was about $60 or $70 million. But again, that was in March, where that was where that gigantic, that was where the gigantic March meme coin kind of blow off was. Let's do DevvE over here. So number 1,000 cryptocurrency, higher market cap, by the way, than MSI that we're talking about. But look at the volume. Volume's up 112% on the day to 282,000. There's going to be some significant interest. Again, there's buy pressure on it for a moment. There's still unlocks happening that last until the beginning of November. So, you know what I mean? Kind of weird sort of thing. And then you have dum-dums, right? You have these dum-dums that are out here. This pump and dump scam is a dead coin going to zero. Like, I talked to the developers, and the developers are pros that have been doing this since 2018. This is an upright walking monkey that has no idea. He's a meme coin scam bro. You know what I mean? That buys the tops of all tokens and everything's a scam. You know what I mean? Best I can say. That's the nicest thing that I can say about the dildo. You know what I mean? But anyway, 1580 right now, basically 16 cents. So this will go absolutely bonkers at some point. I'm just telling you right now, this will go absolutely bonkers. And the reason, by the way, that you're seeing small cells like this, the reason that you're seeing like mine, these tiny sort of cells, is 8404, this wallet over here. This is an arbitrage account. You can see this over here, aggregation router. And by the way, it does it on tons of them. If you go look at like token transfers and all that kind of stuff, you'll see that it's coming from BitGet. You'll see that it's coming from Gate.io. You'll see this coming from Bybit, MEXC. What this person does is they go out, and they're using that on Nero right now. But what they do is they go and they buy a bag on a centralized exchange where the price variance is preferable and in their favor. They go buy it over there, and then they come over and they sell it on Uniswap. So you see that a lot on, it's 8404. You see that on a lot of these cryptos, and it's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions, and the P&L on it right now, 535,000, but it's never bought any. If you see that, if you can zoom in enough there, it's never bought anything on Uniswap. All it does is it buys from exchanges, and then it goes and sells it off on Uniswap. So that's how it works. Now, they didn't make 595,000, by the way. They probably made 10,000, but they do this on every crypto. Again, Nero is one of them they do it on. What you're looking, though, is these 24AO, only $78. This person was vested, and they had a little bit of an unlock happen. See what I'm saying? So, and then you go down here and you see like these little bitty cells and stuff like that. That's what these people are doing. They're getting these they're getting their unlocks, and then they're just selling to make a few bucks, which to me it's silly, but I'm not in their shoes. I don't know what they're, I don't know a testament of their life. I just know that what they're doing here is just, to me, kind of insane. Look, you got to sell sometimes. You got to take a profit. You know what I mean? So do your thing, take your profit. But, to me, it's kind of silly. Now, let's talk RSI real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but look, we started to get a bounce off of the weak oversold sort of area here. But you got Toncoin down here. Look, Toncoin, probably a nice big spike coming off of Toncoin at some point pretty soon. This is on a 24-hour time frame. 24 hours looking low. 4 hours starting to heat up a little bit. The 12 hours still looking low. 1 week is still at about the 50 range. So, in the lower time frame, everything is kind of cooled off. So, we're looking for that big spike. On the weekly here, you see everything just kind of went down there, and then we got a nice little rally off of it. But again, we're basing that weekly rally off of what happened over here a little while back, where we were coming down. So we'll see what this market starts to look like. It's getting it's going to get bloody. It's down $42 billion on the day. This is the U.S. market sucking the liquidity out like, U.S. investors do. And, we'll see what happens. And by the way, you just got, which bad sign, by the way, is it looks like you're getting an engulfing candle on a downward kind of moment. It doesn't look good. This market looks like it's cooked, and there could be anything that spikes it up. But the market is looking kind of tired right now. So be very careful. Certainly wouldn't be looking for too many. I wouldn't be looking spot buys right now. If you're doing some leverage trading or something like that, I think there's a dip coming. I think we're going to see a dip. I think we're going to see some fear in the market, and kind of an enormous downside movement. And we'll see what happens after that. But as far as days go, a lot more red than there is green right now. So we've come down from 2.2 trillion all the way down to 1.9 trillion off of a much bigger trend here. So I would be nervous right now about downward momentum. The fact that we didn't make that spike right there should indicate that we've got downward momentum. Last time we got the spike, by the way, that didn't come all the way up right here and right here. And what did it do? Downward momentum. So could be some downward momentum coming very shortly. So anyway, that's my time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. Let's pay some bills. Guys, we're in accumulation phase, and Cryptonomy.finance is the place for you to go in order to stake. You guys have seen what I've staked so far. So what I'm going to do is I have 10,000 XRP, 6 months. Again, wondering what the bull phrase is going to look like. 32% yield off of that. So off of 10,000 XRP, I should have 13,246 XRP when I'm done, minus fees. Boom. We're ready for the bull run. We're going 20,000 into the bronze level. All right, we got $20,000 into this pool. We're in the bronze pool right now. You can see the details of what I've done so far, how much I've earned off of it. My earnings have been just exponential. Why have they been exponential, you might ask yourself? Well, these guys are investing into each one of these launches, and look at some of the results that they're getting. They're picking and choosing the best launches. ZK Sync 4.5x, Ethora 3.5x, Sharp Psi 3.5x, CoinPays 4.7x. They're looking for real solid projects to invest in, and then they're getting this big yield out of it. So if you want to sign up at Cryptonomy.finance today, and remember,